There's a certain kind of fascination that comes with vehicles that go way beyond what's necessary. In a world where utility and performance often go hand in hand, some machines take a different route, leaning heavily into extremes, innovation, or just plain audacity. Sometimes it's about pushing the limits of what's technically possible. Other times, it's about creating something so specialized, so feature-packed, or so absurdly overpowered that it stops making sense for the average user. These trucks weren't designed with moderation in mind. They were crafted with an attitude of because we can, not because we should. From monster-sized builds meant for royalty to street-legal pickups with supercar engines, we're diving into the most excessively engineered trucks ever to roll off the assembly line or get custom-built in a millionaire's garage. Whether you see them as marvels of engineering or cautionary tales of impractical design, there's no denying one thing: every truck on this list is unforgettable. Let's take a ride through the 15 most over-engineered trucks in history. Number 15. Dodge Ram SRT-10. The Dodge Ram SRT-10 didn't just blur the lines between muscle car and pickup. It shattered them. Dodge engineers went completely off-script when they decided to transplant the 8.3-liter V10 engine straight from the Dodge Viper into a full-size truck. The result? A snarling monster with 500 horsepower, a top speed over 150 mph, and the acceleration of a sports car, all in a vehicle shaped like your dad's weekend hauler. This wasn't built for the job site. It was built for the drag strip. With a 0-60 time of just over 5 seconds, the SRT-10 defied logic. It was loud, aggressive, and unapologetically over the top. The engineers even gave it a 6-speed manual transmission in the regular cab version, making it the only manual full-size pickup of its kind. But here's where it gets wild. All that performance came at the expense of almost everything else. Its fuel economy was laughable. Towing and payload capacities were second thoughts. Yet, for gearheads, none of that mattered. This was a trophy piece, a halo truck meant to flex engineering muscle, not haul mulch. Its very existence is proof that someone at Dodge said, "Let's do it because we can." The Ram SRT-10 didn't make sense, and that's exactly why it became legendary. When engineers are unleashed with no rules, you get stuff like this. Over-engineered? Absolutely. And completely worth it just to hear that V10 roar every time you hit the gas. Number 14. Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6x6. The G63 AMG 6x6 is what happens when luxury meets lunacy and gets a 6-wheel drive system for good measure. Based on the iconic G-Wagon, Mercedes decided to go full Mad Max by stretching the body, slapping on 3 axles, and arming it with 5 locking differentials. The result? A 9,000-pound behemoth that could crawl up rock faces, cruise through dunes, and still look at home valet parked at a 5-star hotel. Under the hood sits a 5.5-liter twin-turbo V8 cranking out 536 horsepower, sending power to all 6 wheels through a rugged off-road gearbox. And it doesn't stop there. This monster features portal axles, providing 18 inches of ground clearance, more than many military vehicles. It can wade through over 3 feet of water and adjust tire pressure on the go with an onboard air compressor system. Inside, total opulence. Quilted leather, carbon fiber, and rear seats that feel more first-class than off-roader. Mercedes somehow built a vehicle that could survive an apocalypse and still serve champagne in crystal flutes. What makes it hilariously over-engineered is that 90% of owners never left pavement. Most were bought as statement symbols of absurd capability wrapped in absurd luxury. It was part off-road legend, part billionaire's toy. Engineers went all in on performance and utility, but the market used it as a status flex. So yes, it's overkill, but in the most glorious AMG way possible. Number 13. GMC Envoy XUV. When GMC introduced the Envoy XUV, it was trying to be 2 things at once, an SUV and a pickup. The solution? A retractable rear roof panel and a fold-down midgate that transformed the back of the vehicle into a truck bed. In real life, it was complicated. The roof retracted electrically, the tailgate had a built-in window that opened separately, and the mid-gate sealed the cabin from the cargo area, all wrapped in a body-on-frame SUV shell. This Frankenstein of features added weight, complexity, and cost. While engineers were busy pushing the limits of design, marketers were struggling to explain what exactly this thing was supposed to be. It wasn't rugged enough to replace a pickup, and it was too quirky and compromised to succeed as an SUV. Consumers didn't know where it fit. Maintenance costs for the retractable roof were high, and reliability wasn't stellar either. The complexity that made it unique also made it fragile. Why does it stand out as over-engineered? The XUV tried to be everything to everyone, solving a problem most people weren't really having. It's a masterclass in engineering ambition, clashing with real-world standard demand. Still, you've got to respect the creative swing. It just didn't connect. Today, the Envoy XUV is a rare sight, a reminder that just because you can engineer something doesn't always mean you should. But hey, at least it dared to be different. Number 12. GMC Hummer EV. The GMC Hummer EV isn't just an electric truck. It's a rolling tech showcase disguised as a military-grade brute. With up to 1,000 horsepower from its tri-motor setup and a curb weight north of 9,000 pounds, this behemoth defies everything we thought we knew about pickups. It rockets from 0 to 60 in just about 3 seconds, using something called Watts to Freedom, a launch control mode that feels more supercar than work truck. Then there's Crab Walk mode, letting the Hummer move diagonally thanks to rear-wheel steering. Suspension? Fully adaptive with up to 15.9 inches of clearance. Underbody cameras, off-road maps, torque, kick vectoring, and a massive digital display that wouldn't look out of place in a spaceship are all packed into one vehicle. Oh, and the roof panels come off so you can enjoy open-air driving while sitting in something heavier than a T-Rex. It's part luxury SUV, part electric tank, and part stunt double for a transformer. Over-engineered? Without a doubt. Do most people need all this in a pickup? Absolutely not. But that's what makes it brilliant. It pushes every boundary and redefines what a truck can be. It's not about hauling plywood. It's about tech dominance, bragging rights, and owning a piece of the future wrapped in raw aggression. If the goal was to make an EV no one could ignore, mission accomplished. Number 11. Chevrolet Avalanche. The Chevrolet Avalanche set out to be the multi-tool of trucks. Built on the Suburban platform, it mixed the spaciousness of an SUV with the utility of a pickup in ways no one had tried before. The star of the show? The innovative Midgate system that let you fold down the rear wall to extend the truck bed into the cabin. Hauling a kayak one day and kids the next, no problem. And Chevy didn't stop there. The Avalanche came loaded with features like integrated bed storage compartments, available bed-mounted air vents, and a 3-piece lockable tonneau cover. There were even built-in drainage channels to turn the side compartments into coolers. Practical? Maybe. Over-designed? Definitely. The Avalanche was a feature-rich beast, but that versatility came with added complexity, weight, and a price tag that edged into premium territory. Not everyone wanted a Swiss Army knife when a regular blade would do. It sat in a strange space between truck and SUV, leaving some buyers confused about its true purpose. Its cult following remains loyal, but for most people, it was just too much. The Avalanche proved that too many smart ideas crammed into one vehicle can end up overwhelming rather than impressing. It was ahead of its time, but not quite in step with what the market actually wanted. A truck that tried to be everything and became a bit too much in the process. Number 10. Dodge Rampage. The Dodge Rampage took a bold approach to the truck world in the early 1980s. Instead of body-on-frame toughness and rear-wheel drive, this compact hauler borrowed its bones from a front-wheel drive car platform. The result was a truck-like vehicle with sedan driving manners, great fuel efficiency, and nimble handling. Sounds like a win, right? Not exactly. While it offered something truly different, the Rampage wasn't what the average truck buyer was looking for. It had the looks of a pickup, but the muscle of a commuter car. Payload and towing were limited. Power was underwhelming. And the unibody design, though clever, couldn't match the durability or ruggedness of traditional trucks. Technically, it was forward-thinking. It offered a smooth ride, car-like interior, and the practicality of a mini bed for light hauling. But it landed in a segment that hadn't asked for such a mix. Enthusiasts wanted power, capability, and toughness. The Rampage gave them efficiency and innovation instead. It wasn't a bad vehicle, just one that arrived too early, in the wrong context. Today, it's a curious footnote in Dodge's history, representing a moment when engineers swung for the fences with something smart but completely misaligned with the audience. It's a classic case of clever design outpacing consumer demand. Over-engineered not in complexity, but in trying too hard to solve a problem no one really had. Number 9. Hummer H2. The Hummer H2 wasn't just a vehicle, it was a rolling billboard for excess. Designed to channel the military-grade intensity of the original Humvee, it was built to dominate streets and conversations. Weighing in at over 6,600 pounds and powered by a massive V8, it had enough torque to crush curbs and climb steep trails. But most never saw dirt. Underneath its tough exterior, the H2 sat on a modified truck platform, offering real off-road capabilities, locking differentials, low-range gearing, and serious ground clearance. But it also featured massive chrome trim, plush leather seats, and gadgets aimed more at luxury buyers than outdoor adventurers. Fuel economy? A joke. Size? Massive on the outside, surprisingly cramped on the inside. Maneuverability? Let's just say it wasn't squeezing into any compact spots. It was built for intimidation and presence, not practicality or efficiency. Why call it over-engineered? Because it focused so much on looking the part that real-world usefulness took a back seat. It could go off-road, but most owners just parked it at the valet. Engineers gave it legit capability, but the market turned it into a status symbol rather than a utility tool. Still, the H2 carved out its own space in automotive culture, polarizing, unmistakable, and loud in every way. It didn't need to be logical. It just needed to be bigger, bolder, and brasher than anything else on the road. And in that sense, it totally succeeded. Number 8. Toyota Tundra. The Toyota Tundra is the full-size truck that refuses to quit. Built with a philosophy centered on reliability over flash, this beast is engineered to handle decades of hard work. Toyota didn't cut corners. Its powertrains are overbuilt, its frame is tough enough for battlefield duty, and its components are chosen for longevity, not just performance. The result? Tundras that routinely pass 300,000 miles without breaking a sweat. But durability this extreme isn't cheap. The Tundra has often been heavier than rivals, not as agile, and fuel efficiency took a back seat to rock-solid dependability. While competitors added turbocharged engines and cutting-edge infotainment systems, the Tundra stuck with tried-and-true tech that, while reliable, started to feel dated. This conservative approach earned trust from loyal owners, especially in industries where uptime matters more than shiny features. Contractors, ranchers, and outdoorsmen appreciated a truck they knew wouldn't leave them stranded, even if it burnt more fuel doing the job. What makes it over-engineered is the way Toyota prioritized bulletproof construction at the cost of innovation and efficiency. It's like designing a smartphone that could survive a drop from space, but still uses buttons from 2008. For those who value reliability above all else, the Tundra is a legend. But for buyers wanting the latest gadgets or better fuel economy, its old-school vibe can feel like a compromise. Still, if the goal is to build a truck that might outlive its driver, the Tundra absolutely delivers. Number 7. Dodge Power Wagon, Rainbow Chic Edition. The Rainbow Shakes Dodge Power Wagon isn't just a custom build. It's a monument to absurd scale and imagination. This mega machine is a fully functional replica of a 1950s Dodge Power Wagon, only supersized to jaw-dropping proportions. At over 8 times the original size, it towers like a building on wheels in the middle of the Abu Dhabi desert. But the real spectacle begins inside. Open the door, and you'll find 4 fully furnished, air-conditioned bedrooms, a spacious lounge, bathrooms with running water, and even a fully equipped kitchen. This isn't a truck. It's a luxury villa with tires. The tailgate? It folds down into a patio, perfect for desert views and high-end lounging. It doesn't serve a practical purpose. It's not road legal. It's not built for hauling, towing, or climbing rocks. It was constructed purely as a one-of-a-kind statement. Engineering excess turned into functional artwork. And every inch of it screams over-engineering. Building a rolling mansion the size of a small home requires custom everything: chassis, drivetrain, interior systems, and even HVAC adapted for extreme heat. The Power Wagon is an insane blend of mechanical fabrication and architectural design. What makes it brilliantly over-engineered is its complete detachment from reality. No one needs this truck. But the fact that it was built and actually works is what makes it unforgettable. It's not just a tribute to a vintage vehicle, it's a mechanical palace designed to turn heads and break brains. Number 6. Toyota Land Cruiser J70. The Toyota Land Cruiser J70 has earned its place as one of the most rugged vehicles ever built. In war zones, deserts, jungles, and remote mining camps, this truck doesn't just survive, it thrives. Designed with a no-nonsense utilitarian mindset, the J70 uses heavy-duty steel construction, solid axles, and simple repairable mechanical systems that can be fixed with hand tools and know-how. It's built to last decades, even in places where roads don't exist. That's why NGOs, militaries, and off-grid explorers love it. It shrugs off abuse like it's nothing. Water crossings? Easy. Mud pits? No problem. Extreme heat or cold? The J70 barely notices. But that unstoppable reliability comes with drawbacks. Fuel economy is notoriously bad. Tech features are minimal, with interiors that feel more 1990s than modern day. Driving dynamics are stiff. Comfort is minimal, and styling hasn't changed much in decades. This truck isn't about creature comforts. It's about never breaking down when you're 500 miles from help. Over-engineering shows up in every bolt, weld, and gasket component, built to handle far more than normal conditions ever demand. The Land Cruiser J70 is like an old-school diesel generator. Not pretty, not efficient, but it will keep running long after everything else fails. It's engineering focused on endurance, even if that means sacrificing innovation, speed, or comfort. In the world of overbuilt legends, the J70 is a mechanical tank with a license plate. Number 5. Honda Ridgeline. The Honda Ridgeline defies every traditional truck stereotype. Instead of a body-on-frame design and solid rear axle, Honda gave it a unibody structure and independent rear suspension. The same setup you'd find in an SUV or a large sedan. The result? A pickup that drives more like a luxury car than a workhorse. Ride quality is smooth, cabin noise is low, and the interior tech feels refined. Features like a lockable in-bed trunk and a dual-action tailgate add innovation where others stick to tradition. From a comfort and convenience standpoint, the Ridgeline punches way above its weight. But there's a trade-off. While it excels in daily driving and light-duty hauling, it falls short in areas truck buyers care about most: towing capacity, off-road performance, and rugged durability. It doesn't have the raw strength of competitors with ladder frames and V8 options. That's where its engineering, trade-off, and said, starts to feel out of sync with truck culture. Why call it over-engineered? Because Honda put so much effort into making the Ridgeline refined and versatile that it sacrificed the core identity of what most people expect from a pickup. It's brilliant on pavement, but lacks the brawn for serious off-roading or heavy-duty tasks. Still, for buyers who want the comfort of a crossover with a truck bed out back, the Ridgeline nails the assignment. It's a vehicle that makes perfect sense on paper, but in a world of chrome grills and lifted suspensions, it stands out for better or worse. Number 4. Ford F-150 Lightning 2022 Plus. The Ford F-150 Lightning didn't just take America's best-selling truck and make it electric. It turned it into a rolling tech laboratory. With up to 580 horsepower and dual-motor all-wheel drive, this truck can silently sprint from 0 to 60 in under 4.5 seconds. But raw speed is just the beginning. The Lightning comes with a cavernous front trunk that's more spacious than many sedans. It features over-the-air software updates, adaptive cruise, a 15.5-inch touchscreen, smart towing systems, and even onboard power generation strong enough to run an entire house during an outage. This truck is loaded with more tech than some luxury sedans. But here's where it crosses into over-engineered territory. The layers of software, sensors, cloud connectivity, and electric systems add complexity far beyond what most truck buyers are used to. Need to charge it efficiently? Better understand smart charging and home integration. Want to troubleshoot an issue? Prepare to navigate diagnostic apps and remote updates. For users who love gadgets, it's paradise. For those used to mechanical simplicity and wrench-ready reliability, it can feel like too much. The Lightning is brilliant, but it's also a reminder that turning a work truck into a smartphone on wheels isn't for everyone. It redefines the modern pickup, but in doing so, it may have lost touch with the blue-collar roots that made the F-Series iconic in the first place. It's high-tech brilliance wrapped in American steel, but with complexity that might outpace practicality. Number 3. Tesla Cybertruck. The Tesla Cybertruck didn't just disrupt truck design, it blew it up and rebuilt it from another planet. With its brutalist angular exoskeleton made from ultra-hard 30x cold-rolled stainless steel, it skips traditional body panels altogether. Tesla claimed the armored glass could withstand a baseball bat, though we all saw how that test went. Underneath the sci-fi exterior, it's just as radical. Up to 845 horsepower, optional tri-motor all-wheel drive, rear-wheel steering, and adaptive air suspension give it the performance of a supercar in the shape of a Mars rover. The interior is stripped down and features a yoke-style steering wheel and a massive display as your central control hub. But all this innovation comes with massive question marks. How do you repair that stainless steel body if it gets dented? Can those sharp lines even pass pedestrian safety regulations in certain countries? And is it really a truck for people who use trucks, or just a flex for tech fans? Over-engineered? Absolutely. It reinvented everything from materials to UI, ignoring industry norms in favor of audacity. The Cybertruck doesn't just think outside the box, it vaporizes the box entirely. From towing specs to vault-like cargo space, everything is overbuilt with a sense of theater. It's part engineering marvel, part internet meme. Whether it redefines trucks or becomes a flashy footnote in EV history, one thing's clear. The Cybertruck is what happens when engineering and ego go full throttle. Number 2. International MXT. The International MXT looks like it was built for a battlefield, and that's because it was. Originally developed for military deployment, this monster truck was repackaged for civilian use without dialing down the intimidation factor. We're talking nearly 10,000 pounds of reinforced steel, an armor-capable frame, and a footprint big enough to cast shade on compact cars. Under the hood, the MXT packed a powerful turbodiesel V8 designed to move armored payloads. The suspension could handle punishing terrain, and the off-road capabilities were beyond overkill for any civilian task. But to make it street-friendly, International added leather seats, touch-screen navigation, and sound systems. Try parking it at a grocery store. Try maneuvering it in tight city streets. Or better yet, try explaining to your insurance company why you need a military-grade vehicle to pick up mulch. The MXT was built to survive ambushes, not rush hour. Over-engineered is putting it lightly. It's the answer to a question no civilian was really asking. What if my luxury truck could also invade a small country? While it had undeniable presence and durability, it was massively inefficient, awkward to drive in cities, and wildly impractical for most lifestyles. It's one thing to build tough. It's another to retrofit combat-level toughness into a suburban grocery getter. The MXT is absurdly cool, but it lives in a world where function bowed to sheer brute force. Number 1. Rezvani Hercules 6x6. The Rezvani Hercules 6x6 isn't just a pickup. It's a tactical fantasy brought to life. Designed for buyers who think a regular super truck just isn't enough. This six-wheeled monster is built like a sci-fi tank, but detailed like a luxury sports car. With a supercharged 7.0-liter V8 pumping out up to 1,300 horsepower, the Hercules is ready for either the freeway or the end of the world. It comes with bulletproof armor, underbody explosive protection, run-flat tires, and electrified door handles to deter intruders. There's night vision, gas masks, and even an optional smokescreen system. It's marketed as a daily driver, but let's be real. This thing is designed for someone prepping for a zombie uprising or trying to out-Batman Bruce Wayne. The cabin is surprisingly refined, with high-end leather, premium infotainment, and sleek digital controls. But none of that hides the fact that this truck is absurdly overbuilt for any realistic use case. Over-engineered doesn't quite capture the scope. The Hercules is excess-engineered into art. It's meant to dazzle, to shock, and to make everything else look inadequate by comparison. Practicality? Forget it. Fuel efficiency? Who cares? This is automotive madness done with precision. It's part military-grade machine, part millionaire toy, and all theatrical performance. For anyone who thinks a regular 4x4 isn't enough, the Hercules 6x6 delivers a full-course meal of jaw-dropping engineering with a side of over-the-top flair. When it comes to trucks, engineering is usually about balancing power, utility, and efficiency. But sometimes, Manufacturers and even eccentric billionaires decide to crank everything up to 11. Whether it's a six-wheeled off-roader, a retractable roof SUV truck hybrid, or an electric monster with crab-walking abilities, these vehicles prove that the line between genius and absurdity is razor-thin. Which of these trucks do you think went too far, and which ones are just crazy enough to love? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this dive into the wildest side of truck engineering, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more automotive deep dives, and share this video with someone who loves trucks as much as you do. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.